Hanging with the Doobie Brothers. That's got to be a fun thing, right? Henry Paul and the Outlaws had a chance to tour with the Doobie Brothers. Henry Paul had a chance to get to know Patrick Simmons from the Doobie Brothers, who I know you've heard me say this before, was basically the glue in the Doobie Brothers when Tom Johnston left and Michael McDonald joined the band. Also, a word about Jeff Skunk Baxter in here, which was interesting. Henry Paul on Rock History Music. Doobie Brothers. I always look at Patrick Simmons, big fan. And it's strange when Michael came into the band and Tom left, and I remember running to go get Tom's solo album when it came out, which sounded like the Doobie Brothers, and I liked it. But I remember my friends were going, "Oh my God, what's going on? What have they done with taking it to the streets?" And I remember thinking it was a far cry from Stampede that came before, but I remember thinking, yeah, but Pat's still there, and still to me, I don't know, it's still the Doobie Brothers to me. Patrick Simmons to me was always the glue in this band, and what a guitarist,
And what a sweetheart, I mean, talk about somebody that understands the real nature of his job. It's Pat. And he and I were famous friends and still are. And you're right, he was the glue, and Tommy came back to the band. Let me say this about Tommy. Have you seen him? He's like a freak of nature. He looks like he's 28 years old. It's like, I mean, I have a certain amount of pride in my appearance. You'd never know it to look at me in this setting today, but
you
he
look
goes
great. What are you talking about? You look great. God.
he goes way past the criteria of expectation. And he sings great. And come on, let's face it. I mean, Tommy Johnston was the voice of that group with Pat, but Tommy was the guy in a lot of ways. And it was so good when he came back to the band. Now they're touring with Michael and Tommy, and Pat. I love the band with Michael in it. My only complaint with that band was Jeff Baxter sitting on a stool to play guitar. I always thought that was pretentious and a total load of crap. But other than that.
Jeff's an interesting guy to talk to. I talked to him twice. He's an interesting man. He's coming at the pie from an angle that I don't live in, and that's always interesting.
I don't think if you're me, I don't look at my life and find a whole lot of things to celebrate with regard to what it represents. But I do have something to show for it. And it's not money, because I'm not rich like I know some people are. I'm not that. It's not fame, because I can walk into any grocery store in the United States and spend 45 minutes and never be bothered by anybody. But I do have something to show for my life, something tangible to show for my effort. Some people, I don't care if you're a doctor or a lawyer, you have a life of productivity and of commitment and integrity, but I actually have something to show for it. And that's the gift that I was given, is the Outlaws self-titled album, Black Hawk self-titled album, the Grey Ghost album. I mean, I have those things that are products of my effort and directly reflect my commitment to music in my life. And so I have that. I have that.
But the Black Hawk album, I mean, speaking of looking like movie stars, you can look at the cover of that tall guy there that I'm talking to. You didn't get fans and come up to you in Kroger's then? I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah. When you're on TV a lot, you get that, but I haven't been on TV in a long time, and my hair was brown and curly, and it's still curly and it's silver now. But I mean, none of that ever meant anything to me. What mattered most was just respect for my peer group.
Yeah.
I wanted people to respect my effort.
Shorts And then we'll be releasing the entire interview. It was a long hour and a half chat with Henry Paul, who was, of course, as you know, a big part of the Outlaws in their early incarnation. Then he left in the 70s, formed the Henry Paul Band, which was successful. And then the country trio Black Hawk, which still tours today. If you want information on Henry, there are links in the description. But man, in this series, does he tell good stories about knowing the Eagles, hanging out with Leonard Skinner, most notably Ronnie Van Zant, their lead singer. Working with Clive Davis, there's so much in this series. If you're a Patreon member, you'll get early access to everything on here. It's pretty juicy stuff. And he's writing a book as well. Remember to pick up a Rock History Music t-shirt and hats. You can get your own Rock History Music baseball cap now. Join our Patreon, as I said, get early access to everything. Links in the description, our TikTok. Check out the Facebook group for Rock History Music. Stay in contact with us. We'd love that. All the information's in the description. I'm John Bowden. More from Henry Paul in the next 2-3 days. This is Rock History Music.